If you are a child of God, you have your first assignment is to build something. Your life on earth must build something that the spirit must rest upon. If there is nothing the spirit will rest upon, you have wasted an existence. If you have not built a life and built a system upon which the spirit will rest upon, sir, you are not living to glorify God. Is somebody hearing what I'm saying here? Hear me and hear me well. If we don't journey into the depths of the spiritual, we shall be deficient in our activities. We shall be vulnerable to satanic attack, insurgents, and incursions. Is somebody hearing what I'm saying here? Hear me, sir. This generation is lost if they must be found. If we must give them bearing, give them direction. Hear me, sir. We must dine with the spirit. We must do what? Dine with the spirit. Hear me, child of God. Any generation that refuses to intertwine with the spirit, he will suspend that generation. God is not afraid for a generation to be wasted if that generation refuses to build a thing that which the spirit will rest upon. If you look at the book of Malachi to Matthew, there was 400 generations. We are told that it was a dark age. We are told that it was an hour of silence. It was a moment of silence. God was quiet for 400 years. Are you telling me that there were no generations there? There were generations. Are you aware that it was 4 generations? 400 years. Let's assume that every generation is 100 years. Am I talking to somebody here? Right now, a generation is not up to 400 years. A generation is 70 and 80 years. Am I right? And a generation is found. So let's assume that 5 generations passed and God was not moved. Because that generations became irresponsible. That generation did not build anything upon which the spirit can sit. So God decided to fold the hand and did nothing. Generation upon generation were wasted until another generation came. A man built a system that God can rest. They asked him, who are you? He said, I am the voice crying in the wilderness, preparing the way of the Lord. Am I talking to somebody here? Until a man makes himself available, until there are willing hearts that must journey into the depths of the Spirit of God, a generation can be wasted. God was silenced for 5 generations. It does not take anything from God to be silent in our generation. If there are no men that must journey and feast with the Spirit. Is somebody hearing what I'm saying here? If there are no men that are crying for more, that's why I say, he that is thirsty come, because it cannot be given until there is a thirst. I don't know if I'm talking to somebody here. There must be a yearning in your soul. There must be a hunger to occupy. Hear me, sir. There is a vacuum in the realm of the spirit. There are mantles that are crying to find expression. I pray for somebody. By the time this month is over, political mantle will follow some of you. Economy mantle will fall on some of you. Business mantle will fall upon you. Ministerial mantle will fall upon you. You will not just be a businessman, but a businessman in the marketplace. You will not just be a politician, but a politician on assignment. You are there to extend the glory and the power of God here on earth. You are not just a banker, but a banker on a mission. Because your life is built up to give God glory. Your life is a resting place for spiritual assignment.